Happy spooky month, everybody. We made it to October and I'm extremely excited for the Minecraft Live announcement on the 16th, which is only 6 days time as of recording this. It's so exciting. You know, we've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter in the past sort of year about the stuff that the developers have been working on, particularly in terms of the Warden, which is something which I'm really excited for. I'm really curious to see how they implement that. On the side, of course, I haven't just been spending all of this time waiting for for the Minecraft Live announcement to arrive. Don't worry. What I have been doing is making these weird piston doors. This is a weird piston door. What you can see before you here is a 6x6 funnel door, but you're probably thinking to yourself, why the dispensers? Well, actually, you're probably not thinking that because it's in the title. This is a powdered snow door. And is that not just one of the best things you've ever seen? It completely folds away on the back. You can see it's toggle state, so it's got an inbuilt T flip-flop. It opens and closes and places powdered snow. It's so satisfying. Now, of course, it's not that useful because you could just sort of walk through it like that. So yeah, I suppose this is not really a door so much as just a thing that places some powdered snow in a hallway and then removes it again. Or is it a door? What do you think? Is this a door? Or is it just a hindrance? Because this is so weird, I thought I would dedicate a video to explaining how I did this, what the pitfalls were, and what you need to remember if you want to go and make one similar to this in your own worlds. Now, this is a funnel, and Redstoners get asked a lot, you know, why is the word funnel in in your title? And the reason why is that the typical pattern of a vault, which is like this, where it sort of tapers back after every block, is only technically a vault if it is double-sided. This particular one is not double-sided, which means it is a funnel. I hope that clears it up for you. Now, this wiring, okay, is extremely tiny, and that's something which I'm really pleased with. You know, just how small I've managed to get this. And for a 6x6, it's almost paradoxical, you know, the amount of stuff that happens in such tiny wiring to make a 6x6 area. You know, the door looks really disproportionate to the wiring around the outside that actually makes it happen. And I'll explain to you why this is so tiny now. So powdered snow doors work a little bit differently to regular doors, at least the way that I've done it. I think I've invented this concept, which means I can set my own rules. Isn't that fun? Now, in 1.17.30, they added the ability to place powdered snow with dispensers and pick it up again with the same dispenser. Previously, if you just activate a dispenser, it would place the powdered snow, and then when you activate it again with the bucket inside, it would just shoot the bucket out. But now it actually scoops it back up like water or lava. And this is super helpful because if you look at this, for example, so here I've got a double piston extender, which pushes, well, really it can be any block out here, but the dispenser can do something really interesting, which is essentially saving an extra extension. So you can see we're only using a single piston extender right now, and upon activating the dispenser, the powdered snow reaches exactly the same level as the powdered snow on the double piston extender, which means your extenders are, well, they don't need to be nearly as big to do theoretically the same thing. So normally for a 6x6 funnel, okay, the formula is, well, it's up on screen now. Okay, so you take the the shortest dimension of your door. Okay, so in this case it would be 6, because it's 6 by 6, so the shortest has to be 6. And then you halve it. Okay, so we've got 3, and then you take the ceiling function of that new number. In this case it stays as 3. So if you had, for example, 5 by 5, you'd halve that to be 2.5, and then you take the ceiling function, which would be 3. So you round it up to the nearest integer. And that gives you the maximum length extender for a door of that dimension. I hope that makes sense. I'll probably leave a little pinned comment or an annotation or something, just so you can remember that. So normally for a 6 by 6 funnel door, you would need at least a triple piston extension on both sides if you're doing it in the conventional way. But because this is made of powdered snow, and the dispensers actually sort out one of the one of the extensions themselves, you only need a double piston extender, and that will suffice. So you can see how I've got a slime double piston extender here, which pushes in towards the door frame, and then activating the dispensers, you can see that puts it exactly where we need it. So helpful. And that is how I've got the wiring so tiny. If you were to do a normal sort of triple piston extender, even if you use slime, even if you're viscose comb 24 and use slime to make an amazing triple piston extender that's super tiny, there is no possible way that you can get it to this size. It's just not possible because of the fact that you need to fit an extra extension in there. And that very principle allows for some ridiculously tiny doors. Like, ridiculously tiny doors. And I made a little demo over here of a 3 by 3 funnel door using this principle. That is only a total of 60 blocks in volume. It's only 60 blocks. You can see it fully retracts away and extends as well. It works in exactly the same way. So obviously normally you'd need a double piston extender to place the block in the middle there, but you only need a single one now. You only need a single one. Super tiny. So just as the last portion of this video, I don't want this to be very long, but for the last portion of this video, I wanted to essentially go through and make one of these powdered snow doors with you guys, to give you a little bit of an example of how something like this might work. So I'm going to do a 4 by 4 funnel door. Now you could obviously do any pattern you liked with powdered snow, including a regular or flat door. You could do 3 by 3 if you wanted to. It'll be a little bit harder because obviously you'd have to sort of work around the fact that there'll be, for example, 2 blocks adjacent to each other. But you could probably quite easily do that and probably make it really fast because of the fact that it's only a single piston extender. Anyway, I was talking about 3 by 3s, and actually I made my frame too small. And then what I do is I get out my powdered snow and I just mark out what the door is actually going to look like when it's closed. So it should look like that. 4 by 4 funnel door. Probably quite familiar to a lot of you. Actually, it's a really easy door to make for any sort of beginner redstoner who wants to get used to using double piston extenders for the first time. I remember making some 4 by 4 funnels myself, and I was very proud of them. They turned out great. So what I'm just doing here is marking out the dispensers and thinking about how they're going to come in to meet the powdered snow which I placed. And I destroyed the powdered snow once I was sure, absolutely certain that the dispenser was going to do its job properly. But just like that, I think we have all of the dispensers that we need. So I'm going to go ahead and get out enough powdered snow buckets to fill each of the dispensers. Now, if you're on Windows 10, then you can obviously NBT pick block these dispensers and make it easier for yourself. But unfortunately, if you're mobile, like I am, you have to manually fill up these dispensers yourself. It's such a tiresome process. But for a door this satisfying, I think it's a very suitable trade-off. Okay, just like that, I've filled up all of my dispensers with powdered snow. And so we're going to go along and do a test run of this. I'm just going to add a way of pulsing these, like so. So here's what's going to happen. All right, firstly, all of these ones around the outside are going to fire. Like that. And actually we can reuse the wiring that we're going to be using to power these dispensers to also extend these pistons. So then what happens is, just like that, this observer pulses over. And then we can just depower everything. And of course we do the same thing on the other side as well. And you can see how that all comes together to create the 4x4 funnel pattern. So all you need to do to get rid of all of these powdered snow blocks is to do exactly the same thing. There is not a single thing that's different between the opening and the closing. It's all exactly the same thing because of the fact that this whole door works on a very easy and helpful toggle state. And that is another reason why I got the circuitry so small, is because the whole thing is reused for both the opening and the closing. And actually, now I think about it, what might be better is if I actually move these dispensers to the bottom. Just because I can reuse some wiring I have down there and make it a tiny bit smaller. It won't be that much smaller, but it's enough for me to go, oh, that'd be a really good idea. That'll be fun. Okay, so we're ready to wire this, and what I like to take advantage of are these target blocks. And I did mention in the collab with Viscose that they're solid now, which is amazing. So we can use them for powering these little bits on the bottom here. So I'm just going to add some dust like that. And you can see that if I use a button, then it powers these dispensers on the top because the target's hard powered. You've heard it all before, honestly. It's just something I wanted to reiterate because it's next level useful. It's incredibly useful to know. So I'll just do that, and now, as you can see, we've got the essentially double piston extender going on the inside. So I'm going to add another bit going up here, which is just going to power these dispensers like that. And I think I could probably hard power them from the bottom. Yeah, just like that. Make it very small indeed. And I'm just trying to think of what would probably be the best way of doing this. What I'm trying to do is keep within this volume, but I think that might be a really stupid decision. What I could do then is add a dropper here, which I didn't want to have to do because it's going to make the hallway really very ugly. But then I could just run observers like that and hard power it. So now it's going to look like that. Now that is amazing. I'm so happy with the way that's turned out. But I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to actually go out a block on this side, which I know is a little bit annoying, but I just want to make sure that I can have the target blocks here as well. It isn't much, you know. It would work. I could probably figure out a way of doing it otherwise, but it just makes everything just that little bit cleaner. So we've got most of it all completely done, except what I'm going to do is just add extra bits that are going to power the dispensers, and in fact, hold on a minute. Why couldn't I just do this instead? And then add redstone dust here. Get rid of all of this. And that should be done. Ooh. I think that might be a signal strength problem. Yes, it is a signal strength problem. That's so annoying. Just about. It's almost there. But honestly, because we're working with the input bug at the moment, because we're working with a player input, we could just add a repeater there, and that'll be fine. As you can see, we've got a 4x4 funnel door working absolutely fine. It's not as satisfying as a 6x6 one, because the delays are a little bit weird, but it absolutely functions, and I do like this a lot. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you have a few interesting ideas of perhaps powered snow doors which you want to make yourself. Who knows, maybe I'll make a world download for this particular door, which you'll be able to find in the description. I think that's everything I wanted to cover. Enjoy your Halloween, enjoy Minecraft Live. I might be live streaming my reaction in my Discord server, so make sure to join there for the 16th. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.